SCP-5000. Why? SCP-5000 is to be kept in a deactivated state within a standard storage unit located at Site-22. All files and intelligence retrieved from SCP-5000 are to be stored on a secure server, with backups available on request of the Archival Department. SCP-5000 is a non-functional mechanical suit identified within its internal schematics as an absolute exclusion harness designed by the SCP Foundation. Although SCP-5000 is believed to have once possessed a number of anomalous functions intended to protect itself and benefit its occupant, damage inflicted to it within the past means that it's currently only capable of basic file storage. For a record of files contained within SCP-5000 upon recovery, see Archival 5000-1. SCP-5000 first appeared in Flash of Light within SCP-576's containment chamber at Site-62C on December 4th, 2020, containing a corpse, genetically identical to Foundation employee Pietro Wilson. Pietro Wilson is currently employed at Exclusionary Site-06, and amnestic therapy has confirmed he has no knowledge of SCP-5000 or memories concerning the events detailed within its archives. Archive 5000-1. Journal entry 01-1. My name is Pietro Wilson. I don't know what's happening. I think I might be the only one left. The date is 1/2/1/2020. Sorry, the transcription is tricky. I'm not used to this yet. Date is February 1st, 2020. I have just escaped from Exclusionary Site-06, I think. I'm not certain. I think everyone else is dead. Those guys, they were thorough. If I hadn't got to the suit, I'd be... God. Journal entry 01-2. I need to get myself together or this thing isn't going to be legible at all. Most likely they're going to want some kind of record of this whole incident for posterity. I'm currently on my way to the nearest Foundation installation, a small safe house for agents making their way through part of this country. Most likely there won't be anyone there, but I should be able to get into contact with my superiors and find out what exactly is going on. Things started around 6, maybe 7 hours ago. A group identifying themselves as Mobile Task Force Zeta-19 Insurgent Infiltrators, maybe, entered the site. They had proper identification and everything, and gathered everyone into the canteen. Then they started shooting. Jesus, I can still taste the blood. I can't get that awful taste off my tongue. It's a miracle I didn't get hit or trampled on. White people climbing over each other to get out of there. If I had gotten into the exclusion harness, I'd be dead. No doubt about it. Like I said, they were thorough. I'm a technician for the power grid on ES-06, so I don't get fully how this thing works. But I understand the basics. This perception filter thing doesn't mean people can't see me, but it does mean they can't recognize the fact that they can see me, which I guess is the same thing when you get down to it. But those infiltrators, they didn't even take anything. Didn't even try to. I watched after I got into this thing. I was too scared to make a run for it. They just checked the bodies and left. An extra blow for every head. They were just there to kill us. Journal entry 01-3. Finally I made it to the safe house after hours of trudging through this goddamn desert. Heard a few explosions in the distance. Maybe the Foundation sent an MTF to engage those infiltrators before they got away. I hope so. Never been happier to see bottled water in my life. The harness sustains your body while you're wearing it, apparently, but my mind still thinks I should be drinking. Human nature, I guess. Anyway, once I got these legs of mine rested, I'm going to try to get these systems online. I need to get in touch with the Foundation to find out exactly what's going on. Journal entry 01-4. Holy shit. Downloaded file 01-1. Context. I sent this to every government, news organization, and anomalous agency on the planet. Fuck me. The following is a message composed via consensus of the O5 Council. For those who are not currently aware of our existence, we represent the organization known as the SCP Foundation. Our previous mission was centered around the containment and study of anomalous objects, entities, and other assorted phenomena. This mission was the focus of our organization for more than 100 years. Due to circumstances outside of our control, this directive has now changed. Our new mission will be the extermination of the human race. There will be no further communication. Compose file 01-1. Immediately following the release of the worldwide announcement, the Foundation began their assault on mankind. The response to the anomalies the Foundation let loose was as quick as it could have been, but the damage is being done. It's hard to tell what exactly is going on, but from my position here, accessing the Foundation network and keeping track of the news, I've managed to grasp a little. I'm gonna get everything I know down, so that when this is over, if anyone's still alive, they'll know what happened to us. Action taken by the Foundation. SCP-096. Images of SCP-096's face circulated on the social media platforms. Death toll had already reached the hundreds before the images were taken down. For all I know, that thing is still going. SCP-169. A series of nuclear charges were detonated within and along SCP-169's back, causing it to stir in its sleep slightly. The resultant earthquakes and tsunamis devastate a significant number of coastal settlements around the world. SCP-662. Over the course of 24 hours, an individual whose appearance matches that of Mr. Deeds appeared in the vicinity of several major heads of state and assassinates them using whatever tools are immediately available, disappearing just as quickly. I don't know why this stopped after the first day. SCP-610. Samples of SCP-610 are dispersed by embedded Foundation agents within any major cities, including New York and Delhi. All civilians in the area, along with the agents themselves, were quickly infected and succumbed to SCP-610. Further spread of SCP-610 is halted by the combined efforts of the Global Occult Coalition and the Church of the Broken God. SCP-682 has been released. I don't know why this is happening. Downloaded file 01-2. Context. News footage I managed to download between drinking sessions. Begin log. Reported Maria Henderson is speaking from inside a GOC evacuation tent. Strolling header indicates that she is speaking on the outskirts of Torsa, Sweden. Behind her, patients can be seen being treated by doctors in full protective gear. Maria herself is wearing a surgical mask, pulls up slightly to allow her to speak into the microphone, but kind of defeats the purpose if you ask me. Repeating what has been previously put out by the Global Occult Coalition, residents that have not been already evacuated are advised to seal themselves inside their homes as quickly as possible, using whatever materials are available. One of the doctors attending a patient stands up with urgency, looking over to a soldier standing over the beds. We got an inspiration, get the eraser ready. Maria Henderson quickly begins moving out of the tent, into a field filled with similar installations. A loud buzzing sound can be heard from the tent behind her, and several flashing lights can be seen. Thick smoke pours out of a gap in the top of the tent. Any individuals still in a compromised area are advised to keep careful and watch over those around them. If any friends or family members begin exuding a noticeable minty smell, they are to be quarantined immediately. Feed cuts out. I later found this is when the television stopped everywhere. Internet too. World gone blind for a few seconds. End of log. Journal entry 01-5. It's funny, with the supplies in this place, not to mention the exclusion harness, I could probably survive for years in it right here. But the idea of being sat here with no idea what's going on in the outside world is unbearable. Still, I'm not sure whether I really want to know what's happening out there either. When I was a kid, real sick all the time, not able to go out that much. I was really into detective stories, Sherlock Holmes and all that shit. I always wanted to figure things out. Anyway, my dad got this row of plant pots on the outside of the wall of the house, and they were always getting knocked over. Never figured out what was doing it. It was pretty much at the peak of my detective obsession, so I was onto the case like nothing else. I was a stupid shit, so I couldn't really deduce anything, if you understand. So I ended up buying this cheap spy camera and recording the wall overnight. It's a stray cat. My dad ended up kicking it to death. Like I should have known he would. Curiosity, well, you know the saying. Everyone involved should have been better off if I minded my own business. But except my dad, but fuck him. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, but I'd rather be doing something than nothing. Besides, if I have the exclusion harness, nothing that would want to hurt me will ever know I'm here. I'm a tourist at the end of the world. Destination, Site 19. The closest real Foundation installation. Only makes sense of names some answers. Recorded file 01-1. Context. Encounter with Foundation elements a few days after leaving my shelter, watching weird behavior. Reading log. Viewing a group of Foundation soldiers and clearing from a distance, 9 in total, stood in a line. 10th soldier, the commander, silently pacing back and forth in front of them. On uniforms and insignia looked like those of MTF Epsilon 6. After a few seconds, the commander claps her hands once and steps towards the line. Commander, performing the check now. Of course. The commander takes out a knife and stabs the soldier in the shoulder. There's no reaction. Get that wound treated. The soldier nods. The commander proceeds to stab the other soldier in line with the same way. No reaction from any of the victims until the 8th, which noticeably winces. Got a live one. The commander and all other soldiers quickly aim their guns and fire upon Soldier 8, killing him. He drops to the ground. The commander then moves to the 9th soldier and stabs him in the shoulder. No visible reaction. Alright, we're clear. Move out. MTF Epsilon 6 pack up their supplies and leave the area, leaving the corpse of the dead soldier where it is. Managed to retrieve weaponry and basic medical supplies from the body, buried it as well as I can afterwards. End log. Closing notes, no fucking clue. Recorded file 01-2. Context, weird transmission I caught in an old radio. I don't know if it's important, but trying to everything down for posterity. Begin log. Audio only, voices male, around my age I guess. 7, 5. Can you hear me? There's a hole shining in the holes within your eyelids. I had never been to Versailles before. I want to be loved. 9. I am standing behind you now. 5. I am 2 of us standing behind you now. The goddess eats the city and the sea. 9. There's a hole in the floor with an answer waiting in it. 7. Look, you're hatching. Message continues to loop. End of log. Closing notes. Message stopped once I turned the radio over and saw that it was damaged beyond repair. Am I feeling okay? Journal entry 01-6. When I thought of Site 19 as being relatively close by, I never really took into account that there was probably with a vehicle in mind. Can't risk cars or anything like that. Even if I went unnoticed, the vehicle wouldn't. All it takes is one Foundation soldier or wandering anomaly to spot it, and then I'm just dead. But still, marching through the woods, even with the harness's protection, isn't the most pleasant experience. It'd be hard to move out of the way if anything came traipsing through. For one, just because things can't notice me doesn't mean they can't run me down. Gives me time to think, though. Like, why the hell am I even going to Site 19? What do I hope to accomplish? If I want to stay out of danger, survive as long as possible, I'd be best suited to living as far away as any Foundation personnel as possible, not jumping right into the Viper's nest. Answers, I guess, more than anything. I just want answers. Even if I got kicked to death afterwards. Compost file 01-2. Reach Site 19. Security's in disrepair. Most of the anomalies let loose a while ago. So it was actually pretty easy to get in. Still stressful. Moving out of the way of the researchers as they went about their business. Still talking like colleagues, discussing how to get maximum human casualties like it was something they'd always been doing. But their eyes, there was something missing from them. Some spark. I couldn't see them as human. Looking at their eyes, maybe not even alive. Hard to describe, but gave me the creeps. Accessing Foundation database and some stolen senior staff credentials, I managed to put together a basic timeline of what happened right before the declaration of war. I don't know what it all means, but I guess to start. December 16, 2019. The 05 marked a project called Numa as being part of special interest senior staff. Apparently, it was a mass anesthetization project like Kaleidoscope, except mostly focused on the collective human unconsciousness. The psychospace, whatever you want to call it. Apparently there was some kind of breakthrough mapping out that psychospace, just I can't see what it was because it's fucking redacted. Typical. December 17, 2019. The vote is undertaken by the 05 Council, with the result being unanimous. Ethics Committee also concurs. I don't know what the votes were about because it's fucking redacted. December 19th, 2019. A series of instructions, redacted instructions of course, are all sent to senior staff members and site directors. A wave of suicides and resignations go out across the Foundation. Dr. Charles Deers being one of the employees resigning. December 22nd, 2019. A number of files are sent out to all remaining senior staff members and site directors with instructions to also disseminate those materials among the staff serving under them. The files are being accompanied by the message, "Harden your hearts." All suicides and resignations immediately cease following the dissemination of materials. December 25th, 2019. Full block on all communications in and out of Foundation sites. Termination of the majority of human and human-sympathetic anomalies is performed by the staff at each site over the course of the next week. Information suggests assassination team was sent after Dr. Charles Gears, but it doesn't say that whether it was successful or not. January 2nd, 2020. Mobile task forces are dispatched to all exclusionary sites to execute all personnel. Immediately following the conclusion of these missions, Foundation declares war on humanity. Not quite certain what this all means, but did the O5 Council send out some kind of a MAC agent to get everyone to go along with them? But that wouldn't explain why the O5 Council would want to wipe out humanity in the first place. I don't get it. I just don't get it. More information on the anomalies within the Foundation are actively using too. With the news down, it's hard to get much solid info outside their own records, even those who are still goddamn fucking redacted. I mean, it's the end of the world. What's the point in redacting shit anymore? Who cares? Just tell me what's going on. Fuck it. I'll put it on the table for posterity or whatever. SCP-1370. Television service temporarily returns. All channels and propaganda speeches from SCP-1370. Rambling on about how he's going to take over the world or whatever. This one isn't actually that bad. SCP-1048. I don't know how the Foundation managed to catch this in the first place, but helicopter footage show hordes of bear creatures created by SCP-1040 rushing through the streets of Paris. Footage isn't too clear, I'm not sure, but it looks like there's a massive red teddy in distance as well, walking around next to skyscrapers. SCP-1290. SCP-1290-1 and 1290-2 are moved to their original position and used as a rudimentary projectile system to launch projectiles at a secure GOC installation called Ganzir. Not 100% sure from the files, but it looks like it's just one of a frankly obscene number of anomalies. They're using to try to bust in there. If you ask me, they'd be better off just firing missiles, because nobody's asking me because they've all gone nuts. SCP-1440. SCP-1440 is transported from a refugee camp to refugee camp by Mobile Task Force and U-22 Rocketmen, where its anomalous effects cause rapid devastation to those fleeing communities. Strangely though, the way these events are described in files makes it sound like SCP-1040 has no effect on Foundation personnel assigned to it. SCP-1678. Foundation intentionally abandons containment of SCP-1678, removing personnel from the immediate area. Once chaos caused by additional anomalies makes evacuation of London impossible, officials from the British Occult Service direct citizens to take refuge in SCP-1678 below. Once the city has reached capacity, Foundation detonates a nuclear device stationed there prior to abandonment. Going to try investigating some more before getting out of here, see what I can find out. Journal entry 01-7. It's been about 3 months since my last entry. God knows what I've been doing since then. A time between then and now is complete blank in my memory, and it looks like the files from that period have been deleted as well. As far as I know, I should be the only one able to do that, so take that as you will. It seems like I've been through a few rough patches. I have a few stars I don't quite recognize, I have a bandage wrapped around my temple. Exclusion harness doesn't seem to be damaged though, so I don't know what hurt me. Did I fall off a cliff or something? Sad part is I actually see myself doing something like that. Never was the smartest. Site 19 is long gone. Well, it's still there I assume, but I'm halfway across the country. Couldn't tell you why. It's weird though. I feel like I have a purpose now, even though I'm not 100% sure what it is. Just where I need to go. There's a briefcase in my hand. I'm having trouble recalling exactly what was inside. All I know that it isn't around, and I need to get to SCP-579. Journal entry 01-8. I underestimated how long it would take to get to SCP-579. Site 19 was a trek all on its own, but 579 is another story entirely. I wouldn't even know where it was without this documentation, which I have no idea how I obtained, but that's besides the point. I stopped counting corpses I've walked past. It's probably in the quadruple digits now, maybe higher. Came across the dead body of a kid, a little boy. In a house I was grabbing some supplies from a while back. At first I thought he'd just been shot in the head. When I went to bury him, I could see that there were things moving underneath his skin, little pale worms, hundreds of them, that poured out the second I touched him. They all had his face. They were all laughing. I started off into the drain. I don't want to bury people anymore. Keeping going is a lot more difficult than you'd think. Compose file 01-3. Assuming the briefcase is a godsend, Don't know what the hell it is, but things are getting too much for me. I just need to open it up. Next thing I know, I'm miles further along from where I just was. Feeling all warm inside with something just gave me a pep talk, so I had my own personal skip button for whatever things are getting roughed. Managed to get temporary access to Foundation database from the corpse site of an agent I found half buried in the woods. Wolves were already helping themselves to him, but they obviously didn't mind me taking his laptop. Didn't notice me anyways. Foundation is still throwing away everything they got at... Foundation is still throwing everything they got at everyone else. I'll put it in the table. Might as well. SCP-5000. The Foundation intentionally triggers the eruption of Yellowstone, obliterating SCP-5000. For now, anomalies deployed by the Man Charitable Foundation have slowed down the environmental effects at an absurd rate, but still a matter of time before we choke on ash. SCP-2200. Somehow the Foundation seems to have mass-produced SCP-2200-1, and those swords are making their way into the hands of refugees. With all the victims the SCP-2200-1 are cutting down, SCP-2200-3 is overflowing, with a mountain of living SCP-2200-4 trapped under a mountain of dead SCP-2200-4. SCP-2241. One of the few human anomalies that wasn't terminated. It appears SCP-2241 is being used as a living weapon to destroy the biggest refugee camps that crop up, forcing survivors to remain in smaller groups. Unknown how they're getting it to be that loyal, but I doubt it's pleasant. Last information on SCP-2241 says that it's being deployed to assist in the siege in Ganzir. Apparently they're having some trouble. SCP-2266. SCP-2466, sorry. SCP-2466 was being used in order to compel survivors originating from California to perform actions both socially disruptive and physically hostile. This was apparently effective, but after the 4,020th use of SCP-2466, the crash became unusable. Just there weren't any residents left. SCP-2639. SCP-2639 were being dispatched to survivor community installation for groups that oppose the Foundation in order to kill everyone present. Apparently they were told that they were fighting monsters that had escaped from containment and were destroying the world. Clearly they figured out it wasn't the case, because they refused to do anything since about the 6th time they were deployed. Good for them. Journal entry 01-9. It's nice having company, even if they don't know you're here. I'm sat around a fire with a couple of GOC soldiers who are trying to make their way. Well, I don't actually think they are actually having to go anywhere at this point. Just wondering, maybe. I thought about revealing myself, trying to ask them how to get me to 579, but I don't want to risk it. Maybe I've just gotten used to existing. Forgive me, a tourist. I'm a ghost. The suit really is a wonder. Managed to access their connection to the GOC database with it while they're making coffee. The news isn't good. Downloaded file 01-3. Context: the interview log from an interrogation facility inside Ganzir. As far as I'm aware, this is the first time a captured member of the Foundation personnel has spoken during an interrogation. Interviewer is Commander Morrison, with a scientist called Dr. Rhodes also being there. The guy being interrogated is a member of Mobile Task Force Omega-2, Samuel Ross. No video. Only audio. Don't know if it's something wrong with the file or just the way it's recorded in the first place. Do you know where you are? I'm in Ganzir, right? You guys grabbed us while we were trying to sneak in. That's right. Do you know why you're here? You're going to interrogate me, I assume. Doctor? Confirmed. The subject has nothing implanted inside him. No mental agents or tornado hazards either. You're safe to begin. Okay. None of your colleagues we've spoken to have talked. Not a one, not a word. Why are you talking to me now? We've met before. Do you remember? Sorry? In that joint operation in Tenerife a few years back. The Seagull Prince? Do you remember? I was wearing a gas mask back then, so you probably don't recognize me, but I recognize you. You gave me a chuckle. That's the only reason? Yeah. When we thought you were trying to sneak into the city with the refugees, you and your comrades started firing into the crowd at random. Men, women, and children all murdered for no reason. Don't you think that's crazy? Fucker. That's funny to you? Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, it's just... I thought it was a little hypocritical. What? Well, I mean, you're interrogating me like the information you'll get will help you, but there's no time for you to really do anything. The way I see it, no matter how many times you fire Abel at her, Professor Crow's your robot will rip this place open before long, but you're still acting like you can do something about it. Don't you think that's crazy? If you've just spoken without nonsense, we can always try enhanced interrogation. I don't want to, but I'll do it. Do what you want, but once you realize you're not supposed to feel pain, there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. What do you mean by that? No, you wouldn't want me to say. I very much do. I'm not talking to you. It does not make any sense. Tell me. Now. You sure? We're still doing inoculations? Cleared on the Foundation intelligence, yes. Spit it out, Ross. Stop stalling or we'll have to do unpleasant. Fine. I didn't catch that. You'll have to speak over that microphone only has so much gain. Look at what you've done to yourselves. I told you wouldn't like it, didn't you? And that's why you hear the voice. But you wanted to know so badly. I really like you guys. I was trying to be nice. We're so kind to you, you know. We fight in the light so you can die in the dark. Disgusting. Closing notes. Apparently right after this, some kind of emergency arose inside Ganzir, and the city ended up being destroyed from both the inside and outside. Files don't mention specifics, but the GOC may be done. Journal entry 01-10. It's getting hard to keep going. When the GOC were keeping the fight, there was a sense that things should still be turned around, but with them now on the run, it's too easy. With them on the run too, it's easy to feel there's no point in this. With Ganzir taking care of the Foundation has turned their full attention back to everyone else. I don't eat or drink anymore. The harness takes care of that anyway. And there's too much of a risk to anything that will soon be contaminated by one of the awful viruses the Foundation is trying to spread. I've seen torches in pretty much every state imaginable by this point, some of them walking around even. Every time I open the briefcase to skip, I feel a little less progress. I feel a little worse. Whatever was helping me before, I feel like I've grown numb to it. Wouldn't be the only thing. What am I even gonna do at 579? Do I even have a reason? Compose file 01-4. Foundation's still fucking us. Here's a table about it. SCP-5078. Apparently, the Church of the Broken God managed to get the internet back up and running in some areas, only the Foundation fucked that pretty quick by uploading copies of SCP-3078 to pretty much every medium available. So the internet went back down. SCP-3179. The thing was freed from containment after the Church of Broken God started trying to rebuild things. Started civil war inside the church over whatever this thing meching or not, which really put a damper on their ability to help out. Plus, it's making as any fucking Terminator things as it can, so that's fun. SCP-3199. SCP-3199 ads are being airdropped pretty much wherever. I'm sure you can imagine how that's going. Might write more later. Journal entry 01-11. Have been making my way towards 579, maybe a little slower than before, but who can blame me for lack of motivation? Been seeing strange things lately, stranger than usual, I mean. First are blinkers, there's quite a few of those around lately. I'm pretty sure they were created by the Foundation, even if I don't know how. I don't know most things, so just add that to the list. There's statues of soldiers, MTF uniforms with empty sockets for eyes. Their arms are carved into blades, like what you'd see on a praying mantis or something like that. They're harmless as long as you look at them, but the second you look away, they can move. They're fast. Someone took through an entire crowd of people with a gust of smoke blocked it from view for just a second. I'm wary of them. Me looking at them stops them too, so even if they don't perceive where I am, they're going to deduce that I'm there. Might start slicing everything in sight. That's the end of me. Need to do my best to avoid them completely. Second thing I saw in it is a lot weirder. It was on the horizon, like a person stretched out. That's not the best way to describe it. It was like the space around them was stretched out, and they were being stretched along with it, by some kind of bad Photoshop effect. Their body went from the ground up to the clouds. Their jaws swung like at right angles. There are these gaps as well, black gaps in space around its body like wings. It just floated upwards like that. There were Foundation guys there too, but they were fighting it. shooting it with guns and rockets. How fucked up is that than thinking the Foundation fighting an anomaly is weird? Maybe they were like me, managed it out when this all kicked off. Thought about talking to them, but decided not to. Can't risk it. Got out of there. I need to get to 579. I need to do something. Anything. Journal entry 01-12. Saw I could die today. I could have helped her. I didn't. I'm a piece of shit. Compose file 01-4. SCP-4290. Through a sample of SCP-008 enhanced by SCP-914, Foundation remnants, Foundation reanimates the torso of SCP-4290 and lets it loose. Kaiju monsters from the serpent's hand engage, but the file isn't clear on what the results are. Heard the library detached from the universe, but it looks like these guys stay behind. Idiots. SCP-4666. Foundation used temporal anomalies to make it technically Christmas everywhere, so fuck it. No one's ever gonna read this anyway. Recorded file 01-3. Context, no input. Reading log. Views of the interior of abandoned jewelry store from the front door. Night sky can be seen through a broken window. A teenage girl is sitting in a makeshift fire in the middle of the store. A ruby amulet is hanging around her neck. Perception filter is disabled. Girl jumps back alert, picking up a rusty pipe as a weapon.
Who are you?
I recognized you. Nicholas, I mean.
Ah shit, they send you to kill me. You're gonna be here a while.
No, I got away too. Did you get away too?
Jesus, you look like shit, pal. When was the last time you slept?
Suit, you don't need sleep with it on.
You do need to sleep. Your face, it's seriously a disaster, man. You hate to see it.
Can I come in?
But of course, there's enough broken glass for everyone. I was joking, you know. You could have grabbed a chair.
It's fine. The suit's sturdy.
Suit yourself. That's a fancy piece of kit you've got there. Want to trade?
No way, I've read the file.
Worth a shot. Been a while since you laughed, huh?
Not much to laugh at.
Not even when Pesterbot showed up on all the TVs?
Okay, that was kind of funny.
So, you got away too. I mean, I'm assuming you were a Foundation guy, not one of the many people I've pissed off in my lifetime here for revenge.
Alright, that was the same thing.
Now you're getting it.
Yeah, I Foundation. I was Foundation, I mean. I got lucky when all this started. I got into the suit and escaped. You?
Well, I was senior staff. We would have been told about the plan before anyone else, but damn if I can't remember what it was. Probably because of the second file.
A second file? You saw it? What was it?
Whoa, cool, you're Jets, kid. We've got all the time in the world. They were just a bunch of images. Eggs, trees, religious stuff. Didn't mean anything to me by themselves, but I guess they had something encoded in them. Didn't take like they should have. Probably because of this thing.
So it was a manic agent.
Don't know about that. I've pretty much had everything that can happen to me. Well, happened to me. I know what a mimetic agent feels like. It didn't feel like that. More like I was being released from something than something being forced on me.
I see. So you don't really know what's going on either?
Nope.
Fuck.
So you heading somewhere, or just wandering around feeling sorry for yourself?
I'm heading to 579.
If you're suicidal, there are easier ways to go about it, believe me.
You know what it is?
Not a clue, which is concerning because I'm kind of a big deal.
Doesn't matter. I have to get there.
Why?
I just do. Where are you headed?
1437. Gonna see if I can't piss into another universe. Then throw this amulet down there and see if where I wake up.
Sounds like a plan. Good luck to you.
I'd wish you good luck too, but we both know you're not getting it. Day's about to break. I'm heading off.
Okay.
I hope you find what you're looking for at least.
Me too. Journal entry 01-13. Hi, Journal. It's been a while. Right now, I'm looking at Site 62C where SCP-579 is supposed to be. There are no guards as far as I can see, and all security is down. It looks like the place has been abandoned for a while. I was under the impression that this place was extremely high priority, but it looks like the Foundation doesn't agree with me anymore. I have the briefcase in my hands. It's difficult to breathe. I feel like everything will end soon, one way or another. I'm heading in. Journal entry 01-14. Hi again, Journal. I know I ended the last entry so dramatically, and it's been about 30 seconds since then, but I have an important update. The second I got close to Site 62C, I got a feeling someone was pressing a gun against the back of my head. Like I was sitting on the edge of a roof, and someone's hands were on my back, ready to push me or fight or some shit. Dialed up as far as it would go. I don't know what SCP-579 is, but it's looking at me. Recorded file 01-4. Context: shit. Reading log. View is the inside of hallway within Site 62C. Severe damage is visible on the walls. It appears as if it was done using a large knife. The lights overhead flicker. Fuck. The lights flicker again. They come back on. A statue of a soldier with blades for arms visible underneath them. It has empty sockets where his eyes should be, and its face is locked with a snarling expression. End log. Closing notes. Was wrong. They're here. Journal entry 01-15. Was right. Even they can't notice me. They figured out I'm here, slashing everything in sight. Gouges on my legs, hurt like shit, but I need to keep moving. They're not chasing me, but they're headed towards the same place. I need to get there first. I need to keep watching them. Journal entry 01-16. I made it. Fucking made it. Journal entry 01-17. That's not fair. But I made it. That's not fair. We're stuck behind the door. I can hear them slashing at it, but it's reinforced. We'll hold for a while. A couple minutes at least. I'm in an observation chamber full of instruments monitoring SCP-579. The actual containment chamber is right below me. I can just barely see it. If I strain my eyes a little, there's a hole. There's a hole in the floor that leads right down there. I know where 579 is. Even the instruments weren't here. Even if the instruments weren't here, I can feel it. You can't be near it without feeling it. Probably. For a second I thought I'd just drop the briefcase into the hole and be done with it. But that'd be too easy, wouldn't it? After walking halfway across the world, I guess I can't. Guess I haven't earned the right for something to be easy. From the angle of the hole and where 579 is, the briefcase wouldn't even come close to touching it. Only way it's making contact if I were to jump in the hole and throw it on my way down. But that height, throwing the briefcase will be the last thing I do. Of course. Of fucking course. It's taken me my whole life to realize, but I'm not the kind of person that can be a detective. I'm just a murder victim. I die for someone else's story, and the human race is going with me. I know who done it, how done it. Those are obvious. Everyone knows those. Those were handed to me. I don't know why. In the end, I couldn't figure out a single thing. Why is this happening? Why is the Foundation killing everybody? Why is this happening? Why did they send out those files? Why is this happening? Why did Ganzier fall? Why is this happening? Why am I taking a briefcase across the world? Why is this happening? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why am I going to die? Is there a reason? If anyone's ever reading this, please figure it out. Explain it to me. Someone, anyone. I don't get it. I just don't get it. They're busted in. First foot forward. Journal entry 01-18. Oh. So that's how it is. Life signs lost. Cause of death was determined to be blunt force trauma, believed to be inflicted by an impact with the ground following a long fall.